NBC's Kelly O'Donnell is in Phoenix, Arizona at the state capitol. So Kelly, with a welcome to you, I'd like to know what's happening where you are, and you're welcome to reflect on your many years of covering John McCain as well.
Well, good to be with you, Alex. We have made the move, just as Senator McCain and his family did, from Sedona to Phoenix, where the city that is the state's capital and has been a home for the McCain family as well will honor him over the next few days. We are here at the Capitol, where behind us you can see there's some work being done, which we might presume is in advance of the nation looking in on Phoenix for the opportunity for John McCain to be remembered by constituents and Arizona officials and the local community. He will lie in state here at the state capitol, and so they're doing some work on the exterior here, perhaps in preparation for that. As you pointed out, he will also lie in state at the U.S. Capitol as a part of what will be a multi-day, multi-city farewell for the six-term senator. The governor of Arizona, who has been a personal friend of the McCains and has visited John and Cindy McCain at their Sedona ranch in recent months, has made it pretty clear today that this is a time for people to reflect on the life and the service of John McCain and to not jump ahead to the politics of what comes next. It will be the governor's responsibility to appoint a successor to John McCain. There is also, of course, the politics of the vacated seat of Jeff Flake, who will be retiring from the Senate. So Arizona was already in the midst of heated summertime politics for the primary and going forward. But when that appointment is made, it will be a Republican under the law in Arizona, and that person will serve until 2020, the next presidential election, not the full remaining term of the 6 years that John McCain would have completed had his health permitted. But that takes you to the next piece. But right now, it's still so fresh, so new for so many here in Arizona, who, despite the fact we knew this was a grave illness that had really a certain outcome, no one has been able to survive this glioblastoma form of brain cancer. For 13 months, his illness was public. He was diagnosed sometime prior to that, and his family has made this move now to Phoenix. There is work going on with his staff and team to prepare the public things that will come. Announcements are expected to be made in the next day or so about a plan for a church service here in Phoenix at his church, the state capitol events, as we explained. And then ultimately, he will have his final resting place at the place where his public service began, at the U.S. Naval Academy in Annapolis, Maryland. He will go back to that place. It was his choice, and he will be remembered there forever among the Navy men and pilots and sailors. That will be his final resting place. So the days of events are just beginning now after the sort of the sadness and shock of learning of his passing. Now, for those on his team, are preparing for how the public can be involved, both here in his home community and much more broadly, to say farewell and to pay their respects. Alex?
So many people across this nation want to do that. So thank you very much for the update on all those logistics. Kelly O'Donnell in Phoenix.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me, or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.